This is Ratan Tata the man, credited with transforming his great-grandfather's Tata Group into a global conglomerate with business interests in steel power utilities, machinery, tourism and consumer products. Among others, in 2008 Tata was behind the deal that led to the acquisition of the UK's Jaguar Land Rover and added luxury vehicles and SUVs to its portfolio. As chairman of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata steered the company's global expansion over 2 decades from 1991 to 2012, making him one of India's most influential business leaders. Founded 150 years ago, Tata Group is a part of India's history. Take Air India, founded by Ratan Tata's uncle. The Indian government took it over in 1953, but the airline became a Tata venture once again after being privatized in 2022. Today, Tata has the biggest brand value of any Indian company at nearly $29 billion. That is more than double the company coming in second place, so it's no surprise that it is one of India's most ubiquitous brands, and Ratan Tata played a big role in turning it into a global company.
Why was our Tata, and above all Tata Industries considered so significant in India?
Ratan Tata was significant to India and was very important to India because he was the part of India's growth story, and that growth story started in 1991 when India started opening up its economy from a protectionist economy to open economy, which we call an India liberalization of Indian economy, and Ratan Tata was at the forefront of this story of the liberalization story. He was the guy who was leading at that time, and it's because of him his company, which was, that time, a local, it took leaps and became a multinational company. Also in India, a Tata's name is seen everywhere. People see it on the packet of the tea when you wake up, and if you can go to the bus and you can see a Ratan Tata's bus there, if you go to the hotel you can find Ratan Tata's hotel there. So, some way like people were interacting with Ratan Tata indirectly by seeing his products manufacturing goods. So somehow, when he passed yesterday, people felt that something is missing in among them. So he always believed that India's ambition should be global, not local. His companies also made some important acquisitions that meet Ratan Tata very famous. Also, one acquisition was with a British tea company, and other one was with the Jaguar Land Rover. So Ratan Tata is not only a businessman, we have to understand him other side of it. He was a well-known philanthropist in India who contributed India's growth story. He contributed money to a lot of institutions in building cancer institutions. He developed in one of the famous institutions in Bombay, which is known as Tata Institute of Social Science, another famous institution known as TIFF. So Ratan Tata was known for his philanthropy. That's why people in India right now, if you go through social media appos, they kind of miss him and admire him because he was not only businessman, the other side of Ratan Tata, which was compassionate human being, a decent human being. That's really admirable by the Indians that who miss him dearly.
I can imagine, and you say that people miss him. I mean, how are people reacting to his death? What are they saying?
While the nation is paying tribute to Ratan Tata, and we see like his body has been kept at one part of Bombay where hundreds and sometimes like it's more than 1,000 people have come since morning. They're paying tributes to him. It's kept in the open area in one of the parts of the Bombay, and the Prime Minister Modi even said that Ratan Tata has it as a visionary leader and a compassionate and extraordinary human being. Google C also commented, said Ratan Tata left behind an extraordinary businesses and philanthropic legacy. Even Oppo's leader, Rahul Gandhi, he also said he has left a lasting mark on both businesses and philanthropy. And it's not only that, common people used to relate with Ratan Tata. So what happened, like when I was checking social media to get the reactions, how people are reacting to it, there were like one section of people who saw the comma who highlighted that Ratan Tata's love for dogs, stray dogs. He used to go on the streets of Bombay where he used to spend a lot of time with the dogs, and they already see that this is a man who was not only a businessman but he had a compassionate side, and people are commenting about it that Ratan Tata is not only a leader, but he was a visionary and a compassionate businessman.
Let's bring in Peter Casey. He's an Irish entrepreneur, and he also wrote a book about the history of the Tata Group. It's a pleasure having you. You've described Ratan Tata as a friend and mentor. What personal impressions of Ratan Tata can you share with us?
You know his warmth and his humility. The first time I met Ratan, he was walking across the foyer in the Taj Mahal in Mumbai, and I'd always wanted to see him. No, I just went up and I said, "Mr. T. Peter Casey, how are you?" He said, "Oh, nice to meet you, Peter." And that's how I said, "I'm actually writing a little book about tea." And he said, "Well, let's have a coffee." And it was that easy to connect with, that easy a person to talk to. You know, I was fortunate. I have probably about 60 hours of recorded time with him. You know, he's just an amazing man, and you know, not many people realize T. By the way, the numbers that you gave earlier were incorrect. You know, TCS alone, one of the 27 publicly traded companies in the T Group, employees over 650,000 people. But the thing that lot people don't realize is that Tata was the chairman of the two trust, the major trust that controlled T Sons. So there's over 130 companies in the group. 27 are publicly traded, and Tis Sons controls the 27 publicly traded, and Ratan was the chairman of the two trusts that controlled it. So essentially it's the biggest charity in the world, you know.
I wanted to ask you about the philanthropic side of things, because you've said that Tata wanted to make the world and India a better place. So how did he do that, and how do you think the world should remember him?
Well, he's created the biggest charitable organization in the world. You know, if you know, it's much bigger than the Catholic Church. You know, I mean, it gives back to society. So the essence of what JRD had at Ratan's uncle was that what comes from the people must go back to the people. So that's the embodiment of the whole Tata philosophy. So Jita, who was a founder who set up the company, gave away half his wealth, and he gave the other half to his two sons. They set up the half to set up the Institute of Science and Technology in Bangalore, and the other half to Sons, and they didn't have children, so they left their wealth to the trusts, and the trusts now control, you know, T Motors, Tata Steel, T Power, TCS, you know. So it's one of the best kept secrets. You know, you don't realize when you buy a Jaguar car that you're actually contributing to charity, you know. So it really is, and Ratan was very active even when he stepped down at the 75. You know, he very active in the trusts, you know, and the trust, you know, basically fund so much medical research, hospitals, education, you know, all around India. And obviously they sponsor, of course, TCS sponsored the marathons, which are huge, chargeable.
If I can ask you, Tata had a vision for India, didn't he? What do you think he would want for the country in the next 50 or 100 years?
A great question. You know, he sees India as being a major global player, but he also, more importantly, he really focused on growing Tata and the charitable ventures that Tata was into, you know, and it really is breathtaking what he was able to do, you know, when TCS is now a $3 billion company employing 650,000. That's just one of the 29 companies that's under the Tis Sun, and so I think he sees India, you know, leading the way in driving philanthropy, you know, because it is the biggest charitable organization essentially in the world, you No, it's such a refreshing in this day of corporate greed and to see a company like Tata and run along the Tata principles, and Ratan sort of developed the Tata quote of conduct and ethics that every Tata employee has to sign up for. So its ethics is a very big part of what Tata is about and what Ratan was about. Thanks for watching this video.